My name is Blade Bretts Yocum, and I'm a writer. I had the pleasure of growing up in a pretty good household. Mom and dad that took me to church, treated me well, and for that I'm thankful. Though unfortunately, the good upbringing I had did not prevent me from falling into a life of sin. When I was about 12 years old, I started smoking cannabis, and quickly thereafter started smoking nicotine, and kept those things throughout high school. And in the midst of that, I had started experiencing some mental health struggles. I dealt with depression throughout the entirety of my high school experience, and especially after I left high school, because I went to college and didn't know anybody there. So the social isolation that I experienced made everything worse. So I started drinking, which obviously compounded, making everything worse. And eventually my mental health got so bad that I attempted to take my own life at the end of 2018. Thankfully, I had alluded to it to a loved one of mine, and they did the right thing and called the police and boxed my car in on the highway as I was driving to the bridge that I had intended to drop off of. Unfortunately, things still didn't get better after that. I started abusing opiates and benzodiazepines and had numerous experiences where I almost overdosed and died. And on top of all of that, the only thing that really brought me joy in life was skateboarding, which kind of sounds like a good thing on the surface, but it was an idolatrous relationship. I had given it my time, my money, my energy. I think about it from the time I woke up till the time that I went to sleep, and even as I laid there in bed trying to fall asleep, I didn't care about anything besides it. Which is why one day when I was at the skate park, I got kind of upset, thinking about how much I had invested into it to see no return. I wasn't sponsored, I wasn't pro, and I knew nothing that I was going to do there that day would change things. So I left the skate park and I started walking down the road and basically fell on the dirt. And I didn't have a personal relationship with God. I just had grown up knowing that He was real. So I called out to Him and I said, God, if you're actually there, like my family and people at my church say you are, then I need you to either change everything in my life or I need you to kill me right here and now. And I felt like cold, hard steel pressed against my forehead. And I gritted my teeth and prepared to have my brains blown out, to instead hear someone yell at me instead. And I lifted my face up off the dirt, and I saw an old man walking towards me who had explained that he had been on vacation with his family. And he had heard God tell him while watching Home Alone 2 with his family to go outside. So he put his slippers on, went down to the first floor, came out and saw me on the ground. And so he came over and asked me if I knew who God was. I said, yeah. He asked, do I go to church? I said, sometimes. And then he asked if I read my Bible. I had to tell him the truth. I said, no. He said, start doing that so he can go back in to see his family, because apparently that's why God called him out. And so I started reading my Bible, and I started developing a personal relationship with God. And I really struggled to read the Bible, so I took the necessary measure to sign up for a college program in ministry leadership so that I have the external accountability to stay in the Word. And thankfully, it worked. It kept me in the Word, it kept me growing in my faith, and over the past couple of years, I've been able to experience freedom from addiction. I've been able to experience freedom from depression and suicidal thoughts. I've been able to experience true joy for the first time in my life. And thankfully, God didn't require me to quit skateboarding, but Instead, he decided to use it as a means of advancing his gospel. So now I ride my skateboard sometimes to have fun, but more often to reach the people around me with good news of Jesus Christ, who he is and what he came and did, and that he loves us, every single one of us, including me. And I've even been privileged to see some miracles happen. I've seen people experience physical healing. I've seen people find freedom from addiction and mental health problems themselves. I've seen God at work. The number one verse that sticks out to me the most is Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future." And I've held on to that because even though I turned my life over to Christ, things got significantly better, but there's still bumps in the road. I think any believer can acknowledge that. So every time things get a little rocky, I remember that at the end of the day, God's got a plan much bigger than I have, much bigger than I can comprehend. And it's a good plan. He doesn't want to be that former image that I had of him as a king on a throne with a scepter, judging everyone. He loves every single one of us, and he wants a relationship with us. And I see that and I understand that now. And I have blessings greater than I deserve. And I have all these opportunities to serve him and the people around me, and that's so much more than I could have ever asked for. So I'm thankful to him to have this opportunity to be on the other side of the coin. And I'm really excited for what he's got next and what the full entirety of those plans he has for me are. So I guess as time goes on, we'll see.